Now, let's talk about
Yeah.
the UK, where we are seeing some extraordinary polling numbers showing that Nigel Farage's reform is ahead now of the Tories in every major national poll. And reform is also ahead of Labor in the latest YouGov poll. Will Nigel Farage be the UK's Donald Trump? You could argue he's already achieved that with his role in Brexit, but can you see him as a future Prime Minister?
We'll see. I mean, it's a fascinating situation. Reform is really a very new political party, and it has already overtaken in the polls the most successful and oldest political party in the UK, the Conservative Party. It's an extraordinary set of events. I think there's a demonstration here of a number of things. The first is the inept manner in which the Labour Party is trying to govern the UK. They've done absolutely nothing to improve living standards or indeed Britain's reputation domestically or abroad since coming into office. It's inevitable that a lot of people notice that and would like a protest vote. The interesting thing for Nigel Farage and reform is whether they can be more than a protest vote. And that'll depend to a great extent on who Farage surrounds himself with as the party grows. It's a very important but perilous moment in politics when a party grows very fast like this. Because inevitably what needs to happen is there needs to be a big support structure around that party. But yes, there's, of course, 4 years, more than 4 years to go until an election has to be called in the UK. But it's exciting. I mean, yes, as you say, there's a sort of insurgency feel similar to that led to the election of Donald Trump. And I think people will be looking for anyone who can show how they can be better governed, because it's hard to see how they could be worse governed.
You wrote about the Labor boasting about Britain's soft power. Why are they doing that? What is there to be achieved by boasting about soft power? Surely if you have it, you don't need to be bragging about it.
Yes, that's one of the things I pointed out. If you go around saying, look at my soft power, hear me roar, it's a slightly embarrassing situation to be in. David Lammy, the great genius who is the British Foreign Secretary, has set up a soft power committee. I mean, as you know, Rita, there's no major issue that can't be improved by setting up a committee of third-rate quangocrats. And they're apparently looking into the importance of British soft power, which they think is underutilized. I think that countries, broadly speaking, talk about soft power when when their hard power has effectively wilted. And not only, as I pointed out, has Britain's hard power wilted, its soft power has wilted as well, because much of the money and foreign aid and much more that the British taxpayer doles around the globe doesn't actually go to sort of soft power initiatives, and it doesn't go to productions of Shakespeare plays in Swaziland. It goes to funding bananas sort of gender woo-woo stuff in South America, or looking into the prevalence of racism in Brazil. And I'm not kidding. Those are the sort of things that British foreign aid has gone to pay for in recent years. So yes, I don't think there's much that can be gained by David Lammy's initiative, if you can call it that. But I also think that it's very interesting to watch when countries, and this is another thing the Trump administration has been looking into with USAID, when countries end up splurging money around the globe, and the money they're splurging actually is on projects which to a significant extent are against the people who are funding the projects, you're in trouble. And that's, to a great extent, where British foreign aid funding goes. Sometimes it goes to countries with regions that are richer than regions of the United Kingdom. And I think that's ridiculous. So I wish that David Lammy would apply his hard thinking to somewhat harder questions.